Don't we all love summer vacation, relaxing, laying out by the pool, barbecues, hitting the beach, doing, well, nothing? Well, how about a summer vacation from your house payments? With SaveWithConrad.com, you can do just that. Reduce your monthly payments by making the equity you built up in your home work for you. You can roll together those high interest rate credit cards into one lower monthly payment and perhaps access some of that newfound equity to turn your house into your dream home with no money out of pocket. And how about this? You get to skip your next two house payments. That's right. You won't have to make your June or your July house payment. You're done until August 1st. Go right now to SaveWithConrad.com. Let my team run the numbers for you for free. There's no obligation, and if we can't help you save some cash, we won't waste your time. And did I mention we're offering a 3-year guarantee right now? That's right. That means if at any point interest rates improve over the next 3 years, you get a free refi. That's right. No new lender fees from us. So you get to save money now without wasting money later when the rates improve on a whole second set of closing costs. Why not go to SaveWithConrad.com and get a guarantee? Save money now and save money later with your friend in the mortgage business. That's me, Conrad Thompson at SaveWithConrad.com. Shoot me an email at Conrad@SaveWithConrad.com. Give us a call at 888-425-0105. Or get yourself a quick quote, even talk to a live person right now at SaveWithConrad.com. NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender. Let's take a summer vacation from house payments at SaveWithConrad.com. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to What Happened When? With the voice of your childhood, Tony Schiavone. Tony, what's going on, man? How are you?
Well, it's that time of night again, and we are all together for another great Monday podcast. Conrad, I'm doing great. I hope you are as well.
I am doing excellent, kind sir. Excited to watch with you a very special edition of Georgia Championship Wrestling.
Oh, man.
Lord bless you. How much we appreciate you. Strange, mysterious person who works for WWE and runs the WWE Vault. We appreciate your deep cuts. And watching some 1983 Omni action is good for what ails you. This actually predates Tony Schiavone's foray into the wrestling business.
Uh-huh.
August 14th, 1983. It's on the WWE Vault YouTube. We'll have a link in today's description. But I, for one, am looking forward to this show, Tony.
Yeah, I am too. I started in October of 83 was the first time I did anything. And of course, that was with Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. So what was going on in Georgia and the Omni was actually not really foreign to me because they were on TBS back then.
That's right.
But there was a period of time when I started doing baseball, and then I met Lois and I got married. So wrestling wasn't as much of my life as it used to be before I got married and before I started working. But I know all about the Omni. Obviously, as Arn Anderson said, it was the Madison Square Garden of the South as far as wrestling is concerned. I dispute that.
But you think it's Greensboro Coliseum?
Yes, I do. But then again, I guess if you look at regional promotions, I guess that was the Madison Square Garden for the Georgia territory, and Greensboro was Madison Square Garden for Mid-Atlantic. So that's a good way to look at it. But anyway, I'm looking forward to this because I know, at least when I clicked on the link here, that we're going to see Roddy Piper, Ravishing Rick Rude, the Iron Sheik, and more in action. Wow. It's enough to make a beagle stand up and walk around in circles.
You know, who knows if this is real or not, but according to, and I'm sure this is because it closed, but according to AI on Google, it says that historically, the Greensboro Coliseum Complex in Greensboro, North Carolina, has indeed held more wrestling events than the Omni Coliseum in Atlanta, Georgia.
Well, that's because the Greensboro Coliseum is still going on.
That's right. Yeah. And of course, the Omni was demolished in 1997 to make room for what we used to call Phillips Arena. Now it is State Farm Arena. We're going to talk about some Atlanta wrestling history, and we're glad that you're along for the ride. We're going to have a link in the show for or description for today's show. I want to give a special guest shout out to all of our family members who hang out with us from Patreon. That's patreon.com/WHW Monday. And of course, adfreeshows.com. Shout out to Bad Money Slim and Darren Staley and Rajiv and Andre Canty and Antonio Santos. Jason Taylor's here. I mean, we got a who's who here. Excited that we're going to be able to watch some Georgia Championship Wrestling. Tony, do you have a special countdown, or are you kicking an old school today?
Well, I don't have a special countdown, but we can kick it old school.
I'm ready when you is.
Let's do her. Everybody get to your YouTube link here. That's the WWE YouTube Vault, I guess is what it's called. Is that it?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. And here we go. In 3, 2, 1, play.
You can see the little color flashes from the old VHS when it first gets started. I don't know why, but even that makes me nostalgic, Tony.
I was at the me too. Absolutely. I was at the race at Echo Park Speedway, which used to be Atlanta Motor Speedway. You know, we had an appearance there a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And Scrappy McGowan, who's the referee you're seeing right now, was there, and he came up to talk to me. And he said, "Hey, is this Arn?"
Yeah, man, how about that, dude? Yeah, we got Chief Joe Lightfoot wrestling Arn Anderson.
Wow.
So this is back in January of '83,
right
in Mid-South. A young Marty Lundy was an enhancement guy at best on TV.
Right.
Now, 7 months later, he's an Anderson here in the Omni. That little note brought to us by Scott's Blog of Doom. So, yeah, this is still relatively early in Arn's career. And
how about that?
He's obviously enjoying some success in Georgia, and being a Georgia boy himself, this has got to be a real treat for him.
Oh, it's got to be. It's got to be really thrilling for him because, you know, he's a Rome, Georgia kid. And I always thought it was funny. I always said, you say you're one of the Anderson family from Minnesota, but when you open your mouth, there's nothing Minnesota about that, buddy.
Oh, no doubt.
That's all Georgia. Anyway, I don't know what I was going to talk about, but
this is actually his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is his 8th match in the Omni. He would have gotten started there back in April of 1983. He was a tag team then, him and Matt Bourne. But this is going to be his 3rd singles match. His first singles match was, or I guess his first and second were on the same night. It was a tournament for the NWA National Heavyweight title.
Okay.
But we know that this one is going to go 5 minutes and 26 seconds. The next time Arn is back here at the Coliseum, the Omni Coliseum, it's a grudge match for Georgia Championship Wrestling. Ole Anderson versus Arn Anderson. That happens on May 6, 1984. Man, you want to talk about going from working with, respectfully, Joe Lightfoot to Ole Anderson. When you working Ole Anderson in Georgia Championship Wrestling, it's a big deal.
Yeah, because he was the booker for quite a while, and he was a big deal in Georgia. And I was telling you about Scrappy McGowan. I saw Scrappy he came up to me and said hello to me at the Speedway a few weeks back.
Oh yeah.
And I said, "There's no way you're Scrappy McGowan." He said, "Yes, I am." I said, "No, you're Scrappy McGowan's grandfather." It's just amazing how much we all have aged, but
I love that every time you run into somebody from the old days, you're like, "Conrad, you won't believe it. That motherfucker's old." And it's like, "Tony, you haven't seen him in 40 something years." And you're like, "Yeah, but he looks every bit of it." It just tickles me that you're always shocked. You won't believe how old he is. It's been 40 years and he looks 40 years older.
I saw Sting at Starrcade and I said, "Oh my God, you look like an evil Santa."
Hey, I don't know if you saw, and I know we're probably not supposed to be talking about it, but 411 Fuck Sheet reported today that AEW is trademarking Old Man Sting. I guess since it's a matter of public record, we're not necessarily spoiling anything to know that there was paperwork filed that way. But I love that people referred to him as that on the internet.
Yeah.
And now there's a chance that there might actually be a piece of merch or some sort of marketing one day that says Old Man Sting.
Yeah.
Because when I hear that, it makes me think, and I don't know if this is real, but you know, last we heard, once upon a time, one of his youngins was actually thinking about getting in the biz.
Right.
And if there are more matches out of the Borden family in the future, I don't know, having dear old dad as Old Man Sting, he becomes the Clint Eastwood of wrestling. That'd be badass. Get off of my lawn, punk.
It would be.
Right?
And
Come on.
yeah, and I mean, if you saw him at Starcast, you know he's leaning right into his age now.
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah,
fully embraced it.
yeah, and it was great to see him now talking about people of age and how I love to give people a hard time.
Yes.
Uh, when Sting walked in, I was on the curtain, and Jeff Jarrett and Karen were on the other side of the curtain, and I walked through the curtain there and saw Jeff, and I said, Jeff, uh, stay right where you are. The nursing home will pick up Sting first, and then it'll get you next.
Oh
And
god.
he was shouting. He was shouting, "Security! Security! Get this old fat man out of here!"
I love
So
that.
it's had a great. And then the second thing was Stevie Ray came by. Did you see Stevie
Dude, he looks
himself?
better than ever.
Yes, he does.
Dude, he's in phenomenal shape.
I know he's in phenomenal shape. And I had when he was with me on Worldwide for that short period of time. I don't know how long it was. Really enjoyed working with him. He had a great sense
Yes.
of humor, and he was well spoken. And so everybody that came by, Tony, it's nice to see you. And I would take pictures and I would say, I'd like for you to meet my father-in-law, Stevie Ray.
I love that.
And they would reach out and shake his hand and he would stare at him. He said, I'm not his father-in-law. But it was great seeing Stevie. It really was. And
One of the all-time greats. I mean, no matter what your thoughts are on WCW, there's no denying that the Harlem Heat are the most decorated tag team in WCW history.
mhm,
Going to go down in history as one of, if not the greatest tag team in history, and real trailblazers too, man. I
of
just think
course.
a lot of him. And by the way, I don't know that I've ever told you this, but my favorite drink at any bar in America is called the Southern Gentleman, and it's served at the Sazerac Bar
Okay.
in New Orleans. And it's inside the hotel there, next to the. It's across from the Ritz. I forget the name of the place. I'll have to look it up in a minute, but the Sazerac Bar has a drink called the Southern Gentleman, and they make it with like muddled mint and blackberry or some other shit, but it's Buffalo Trace.
Okay.
And they will only legally sell you two. They're like, hey, you can't have more than that. So of course, once they told me that, I'm like, fuck you, I'm gonna find a way. So I
Mm,
did. And I
okay.
had the best night that I remember ever. But we started consuming these so quickly and so many of these that we
Yes, you
started
did.
to have code names for them,
Mhm,
and I channeled my inner Stevie Ray
mhm.
and my inner circle all these years later. Cause I mean, that was probably 15 years ago when we first discovered it. We have referred to that drink as Fruit Booty
Fruit
ever since.
booty. Absolutely.
Fruit Booty is something that I stole from Stevie Ray doing commentary. I thought it was tremendous. And now all of my friends know when I say, hey, man, let's go get some Fruit Booties. They know exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you for that, Stevie Ray.
Yeah, Stevie's good guy. It's amazing, and I told him this. I said it's amazing what he and Booker T did as far as tag team wrestling were concerned, and Stevie never took a bump, and uh, Booker T did all the work. But other than that, it was great seeing him.
We, of course, are on the heels of a really big wrestling weekend. We're getting started with match number 2 right here. Hopefully, you're watching along with us. You'll see this is Mr. Wrestling on the left and a very young Rick Rude. And what's fun about this is Rick Rude here is not wearing long tights. And we famously heard a lot of people credit him with the phrase, it's an upper body business. This is years before he's got the airbrush and he's really calling himself, ravishing Rick Rude.
Right.
This version of Mr. Wrestling, by the way, is Jesse Barr, who you may remember also known as Jimmy Jack Funk. I have to admit, I was not familiar with Chief Joe Lightfoot. I had to throw it in cage match.
Okay.
He was also known as Joe Victory Lightfoot,
Hmm.
Joe Ventura, and Jose Ventura.
Okay.
According to Cage Match, he was 213 pounds, 5'10" from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. I was not familiar with his game, but yeah, what do you remember, if anything, about Jimmy Jack Funk, Jesse Barr?
Jesse Barr worked for Jim Crockett Promotions for a small time as Jesse Barr,
Okay.
and that's all I remember because he didn't stay long. I'm sure you could find on Cage Match
He
where he
was he was
was.
with you guys in '84.
Okay.
I think he started in Mid Atlantic on April 30th, '84, and he would
Okay.
finish up mid August, August 14th.
Okay.
But he comes in with some wins over guys like Doug Vines and Jeff Sword and Bobby Bass.
Wow.
And believe it or not, a Bret Hart with 2 T's. That's also known as Barry Horowitz.
Wow.
Isn't that cool to think once upon a time Barry Horowitz went by Bret Hart with 2 T's?
Isn't that something? It's amazing if you go up and down history in pro wrestling about some of the guys who actually ended up making somewhat of a name for themselves, how they progressed through the years and how they changed their name and did what they did. We're looking at Rick Rude right now, and I don't know about you, but he looks awfully damn skinny right here. I know he's much, much younger, but doesn't he look thin to you, thinner than?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, this
Yeah.
is before he's added a lot of the upper body. This is before he's, given up on legs and decided, no, we'll just cover him with airbrush tights. This is really before he found his groove. And that's one of the reasons I was excited about watching this is we're seeing Arn Anderson before he's the Arn we know,
Right.
before he's the enforcer.
Mhm.
We're seeing Rick Rude before he's ravishing. We're about to see the Iron Sheik before he changes wrestling. I mean, think about that. How crazy the ride the Iron Sheik is about to be on. He's going to be the freaking world champion in the WWF very, very shortly. That's wild to me to think that, he's here and now bang, he's the champ.
Yeah, it's like and once again, you go through different changes throughout the years, and it's this mask on Jesse Barr looks odd, doesn't it? It looks like he's got a big old head of hair, and he doesn't have it. It just looks weird on him. I'm going to, if I can do so, I'm going to send Dave Silva a picture here, and I want Dave. I'm going to. I should have done this before. I was thinking about it, and I want you to put it up. When I tell you to put it up, just let me know when it's ready. It has to do with Starrcast and the fun that we had for Starrcast. So
we got to talk about that big weekend. I want to
Yeah.
briefly mention as we're getting ready to see the Iron Sheik in just a moment. He actually finished up here in Georgia Championship Wrestling. It looks like, according to Cage Match, on August 15th, 1983. So this is the night before he wraps up. We're going to see his next to last match here in Georgia Championship Wrestling. And then he's headed to the WWF. He'll debut. His first match there will be a TV taping at the Agricultural Hall in Allentown, Pennsylvania on September 13th, 1983. And to think it's not that long before he wins the world title. I mean, imagine that, dude.
Yeah. Isn't it something?
It really is.
Yeah.
When you really think about the opportunity that he had so quickly.
Right. He was a very likable guy, and it doesn't surprise me that he got plenty of opportunity.
I mean, he wins it in December. So, this is August. And to think he's going to leave here, go to New York, and win the belt in New York. It's just shout out to the Iron Sheik. What an incredible life he lived.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was known for having one of, if not the most interesting boots in wrestling. Don't you think that curly toe? I mean, that's got to be one of the most iconic wrestling boots in history, does it not?
Well, it's one of those when you think of one man, right? You think of the Iron Sheik. So he was kind of ahead of his time with that. I mean, I know we've discussed the Iron Sheik before here, but he was a very, very entertaining guy away from the ring. He made people laugh. He even made Ole Anderson laugh a lot. And Ole didn't laugh much. But he was it just I know he had a terrible tragedy in his life when his daughter was murdered. And that's, if you haven't seen the Iron Sheik documentary, it's in that. But yeah, great and legitimately strong. You know how he used to pick up those clubs or whatever?
Oh, yeah, it's unbelievable.
No, that takes unbelievable strength to do that. It really, really does. So he was legit. He was a legit pro wrestler. I mean, amateur wrestler, and became quite a well-known, many would say iconic professional wrestler as well.
We should mention we're talking about those classic boots that the Iron Sheik was wearing. I can't imagine they were very comfortable. I mean, with those curly toes.
No,
I mean, I don't know that anybody really ever needs curly toe boots in their real life, but maybe you need some sort of safety toe or pull on or soft toe or lace up, whatever it is. Brunt can help. And the founder of Brunt is a fellow named Eric. He grew up blue collar, and he started Brunt Workwear after his friends of the trades kept telling him that these big brands had stopped listening. They haven't changed in over 100 years. They'd sold out to really become fashion brands. And his buddies encouraged him to start a brand built for them. And that's why you'll see all of the Brunt products are named after the guys he grew up with. These are real hardworking tradesmen. They were choosing work boots that really meant they had to sacrifice comfort or they had to sacrifice durability, meaning if those boots felt good, well, they didn't last. And if they lasted, well, they would wreck your feet. Well, Brunt thought that was a bunch of bull. So they built tough boots that actually feel great from day one. No break-in period, no sore feet, because people out here doing the real work shouldn't have to choose between comfort and durability. And I got to tell you, I've tried them out myself, and these are some of the most comfortable boots I've ever worn, and they feel comfortable right out of the box. There's no long, painful break-in period. They're just comfortable, and they're built to perform. Whether you're looking for waterproof or safety toe or soft toe or pull-on or lace-up, they've got options for every job site, and Brunt stands behind what they make. You can wear them to work, and if they're not right for you, send them back. I don't even think I've ever heard of another work boot brand doing that. But I recommend it. I think you'll see these Brunt boots are comfortable right out of the box, and they don't just do boots. They've got all your high performance gear that you need for tough job sites. You see, Brunt was tired of the workwear brands out there cutting corners. You work too hard to be stuck in uncomfortable boots that won't hold up. So Brunt built something better. Boots that are insanely comfortable and built for any job site. And for a limited time, our listeners can get $10 off at Brunt when you use the code WHW at checkout. Just head to bruntworkwear.com, use the code WHW, and you're good to go. And after you order, they're going to ask where you heard about Brunt. Do us a favor and tell them that we sent you here on this show.
What you're seeing here is really old school wrestling in many ways, obviously.
Yeah.
And I say that because back in the day, you used to, and I've talked about this before, you used to build up to the main event. The opening matches, as Arn Anderson said, curtain jerkers. You wouldn't do a lot of stuff, right? Because all the stuff would be in the main event. So you are really frowned upon if by guys who were in the main event, if you tried to do too much, like don't juice or things like that. Never will forget. We were, I think I've told this story before, and we were in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And I think I was ring announcing. I'm sure I was ring announcing at the Cumberland County Coliseum or Civic Center, whatever it was. And the opening match was Black Bart, rest in peace, Ricky, and Sam Houston. And they did double juice. And Arn was so fucking angry. He said, "You don't do that. You don't come out there." Even though Black Bart and Sam had a little bit of an angle, right? It was down. It wasn't one of the main event angles. They just double juiced, and it really made Arn and a lot of people mad that they would do this. So what you're seeing now is basically a lot of mat wrestling, and not much of anything else. So that's the way it was back then. And we have certainly changed today, haven't we?
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
I quickly did a little Google search, and I found that in 85, the following year here, the two guys we're watching wrestle, Jesse Barr and Rick Rude, they were a tag team in championship wrestling from Florida. How about that?
Wow. I know Jesse had spent a lot of time in Florida. So that doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, Rick Rude and the Raging Bull Manny Fernandez were NWA World Tag Team Champions for the Crockett's. So
in 86, we know that Jesse would make his way to the World Wrestling Federation.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just think, man, I love watching this early stuff. And I think that's one of the reasons I enjoy watching independent wrestling, or, even if it's developmental wrestling, like an NXT or respectfully a Ring of Honor, because you're going to see some really young talent and they're going to evolve and they're going to change. But just the idea that we get to see some of these guys before they become megastars on TV, it's, I don't know, it makes it a little more fun. Rick Rude would wind up in the WWF in mid or early June 1987.
Right.
So he's probably 3 years away here from the WWF.
Yeah, and he went to the WWF right out of Crockett Promotions, if I recall.
That's right. Yeah. Didn't he allegedly keep one of the tag titles too?
I don't remember that. For some reason that has a little bit of memory for me. Here's the Iron Sheik.
What'd you think of that presentation? You know, when he's coming to the ring and all the headdress and the robe and the flag. How big of a listen? I realize that this is not the sort of presentation that we see in wrestling now,
Yeah.
but it was too politicized for today. But back in '83, I mean, just coming out with that flag made it very easy to distinguish. Oh, he's the heel, right?
Right. Well, if we'll recall the Iranian hostage crisis, I
That's
think
right.
ended in like 81, didn't it? So when right at the end of Jimmy Carter's first tenure, probably 1980, maybe around that early. So we're not too far removed from that. So he's leaning into that big time.
It
Uh,
started in '79,
right.
so I guess it ended January 20th, 1981.
It ended the day that it ended the day that because they did it to shove it up Carter's ass. Ended the day that Reagan was inaugurated. They let him go at that time. They listened because I remember it vividly. They listened on the radio or whatever. Of course, this is way before I guess TV was what it was. And once Reagan was sworn in, they let the hostage go. Um, and boy,
We're gonna
is
see
it?
Brett Sawyer get a win over the
Yes,
Iron
right.
Sheik here.
Brett Wayne Sawyer, man, that's exactly who that was. I recognized him immediately.
I mean, isn't that crazy to think about? As a reminder, Brett Wayne Sawyer, respectfully, 5'9",
Uh huh.
224 pounds, billed out of being from Orlando, Florida. Even now, he's only 63 years old.
Huh.
But back then, you know, he was known as Brett Wayne Sawyer, and even the Bubblegum Kid.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
I just
he,
find it so fascinating. And I know that I keep coming back to this, but the Iron Sheik, man, this is proof that you got to be ready. You
yep.
know, like this is his next to last show for GCW. He's losing to Brett Wayne Sawyer on the way out. And in a handful of months, man, he's going to beat Bob Backlund and become the World Wrestling Federation champion. And we know the following month drops it to Hulk Hogan. He's really just there as a transitional champion, but
But
what a legacy he leaves just because of that one thing.
and not only that, that I think that that transition had well, of course, I may be wrong. You probably know more about this than I do. Vince Jr. did not want Backlund to hold the title. Bob Backlund was Vince Sr. really liked him and loved him, and so this transition was the beginning of Hulkamania. But it was also done because what we were just talking about the Iranian hostage crisis. It was
Yeah.
still fresh on the minds of everybody, and Iranians back then were big heels. So right or wrong. So that's probably that's part of that. Let's get a real great heel for Hulk Hogan to beat, and why not? He's not going to beat Bob Backlund. That wouldn't be a good enough heel. Let's bring in the Iron Sheik, right? An Iranian. He'll beat him, and he'll be the All American. You know, I am a real American. Fight for the right of every man, type thing. So okay. About a couple things about Starcast. I met so many great people, and it never ceases. It really does, Conrad. It never ceases to amaze me how many people say they love the podcast.
Yeah.
Uh, and I say that because I know we have a lot of listeners, and I really do appreciate that. But I know that probably a lot more people see me on television than they do listen to this podcast. Just the
That's
way
right.
it's the way of the world. But so many people come up and say to me, "We just love the podcast." And this couple came up to me and they said, "We heard on the podcast that you love hoodies," and they bought a hoodie for me. And hoodies are not cheap these days.
No.
And it was a hoodie from this school where they're from. And again, I don't. I sometimes when there's a lot going on, I'll forget about it. But it was like a Division II school, very nice hoodie, and I really appreciate it from this couple. This other couple came up to me, and the girl said, "I the last time you were in Dallas, I dressed up as you and went to the matches." I said, "You did what?" She said, "I dressed up as Tony Schiavone and went to the matches." And I went, oh my God. She says, as a matter of fact, I've got a couple of pictures here. Would you like one of them? And I said, yeah, sure. I mean, I'm honored. Fans give me these bracelets, right? And I keep them. I wear them. It means a lot to me. That's why I try to be as nice to fans as I can. Any wrestler or any rock and roller or any entertainer who is not nice to their fans is a fucking idiot.
Yes, agree.
Yeah. So I try to be as nice to fans because legitimately they're the reason that I've been able to do what I do in this life.
Right.
So she said, would you like one of those pictures? I said, sure. And the picture just blew me away. And Dave Silva has it and will show it to us right now.
Oh my gosh. What a great photo.
Is that something?
I love that.
That's a young lady. Jeez.
I love that, dude.
Yeah. That just means so much. It really, really does. I just terrible on names. I'm sorry I should have written the names down, but anyway, so that was part of Starcast that we had for a couple of days and had a great time.
We had a blast at Starrcast. We greatly appreciate everybody hanging out and showing up. It was a big weekend. Of course, the entire wrestling world was focusing on what AEW was doing. It was a big collision on Wednesday night that I enjoyed with my family in Garland, Texas. The very next night was Collision, but Friday was Starrcast, and man, was it busy. Man, was it fun. We had to get things kicked off with Okada and MJF was just wild. It was a happening. You never knew what you were going to see or what was going to happen. But that night, I think a lot of people were blown away with what they saw in the main event. Takeshita and Bandito had, without question, a match of the year candidate.
Right.
One of, if not the greatest title match in Ring of Honor history. Go out of your way to see it. According to the fans over at Cage Match, it is Bandito's best match ever. And it's tied for Takeshita's best match ever, along with his match against Will Ospreay. But Takeshita, in my opinion, and this is crazy because we all know he's a great wrestler and we all say it, but I think you could argue that Takeshita might actually be the most underrated in-ring performer in the world right now. I don't remember that dude. Jim Ross famously said, I've never seen Shawn Michaels botch.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure when Shawn heard that, he knocked on wood and everything he could see nearby. But
right.
like Takeshita, it just feels like he's everywhere he's supposed to be. He is about as perfect of an in-ring wrestler as you're going to see. And I was so excited that we got to see that. Really, the esports arena is in the same parking lot as our hotel at Starrcast. Like,
right.
The idea that our AEW fans and Starrcast fans could come support Starrcast and literally in the same parking lot walk 100 yards maybe, and they're ringside to see Takeshita and Bandito. It was something else this weekend, Tony.
Tremendous area, really, if you think about where the baseball stadium is.
Yes.
Cowboys AT&T Stadium is not too far away in the distance, and they have a Lowe's Hotel, a Sheridan Hotel, a Lowe's Live. They have this outdoor bar area, which I guess is Lowe's Live, and so it's just a wonderful area to have something like that in. I was talking to Keith Mitchell about this. Keith was a longtime producer of ours, and he asked me. We were texting back and forth on Saturday night. He asked me how the show was, and I told him. I said, "This area in Arlington, Texas, is absolutely wonderful. They got a Six Flags out there too. It's just a great place." And he said, "Yeah." He said, "That's where we used to go dove hunting back in the '60s." I said, "Wow." Well, it's changed a great deal. So it was a great place to hold it. And the baseball stadium to me is baseball has come a long way. Now they're in palaces like that. And believe you me, the Rangers fans and should be very proud of the stadium they have because it's wonderful. I want to say something about the show. I like all of us, I know a lot of people thought, and the Bucks and Kenny Omega, I'm sorry, the Bucks and Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay was wonderful.
Yes.
And there was the main event was so crazy, but so well done. Stories being told, everything coming back to fruition. Bryan Danielson coming in shocked the hell out of me. I did a Bryan Danielson interview panel at Starrcade, and we talked about Brian coming back in the ring, and I mean, I didn't even know what was happening. There's a lot of, I once again, I enjoy things like I enjoy not knowing what's going on. And there, Brett Wayne just beat the Iron Sheik, and Paul Ellering, by the way, who's the Iron Sheik's manager, comes in and is upset about it. So, so I didn't know that Adam Copeland would be there. I didn't know that Darby Allin would be there. Obviously, didn't know that Bryan Danielson would be there, and I just thought the story that was told in that main event match was a great story. Kind of put a lid on the story of AEW, you know, coming together against the against Death Riders. But me, and there's one of the worst people in America when he was alive, and that's Buzz Sawyer, and Tommy Rich has come in as well. So, but to me, the story of the night was still Dustin.
Yeah.
And I say that because, you know, Tony Khan has come up with a lot of great things. And I say that honestly, not just to try to kiss the boss's ass, but he's come up with a lot of great things. The Casino Gauntlet, the timeless Tony Storm character, everything you see on TV. I mean, he will listen to guys and listen to his staff, but he makes the final decision. He came up with that on the spur of the moment, and I told him, I said, that was brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant, because when the four-way was put together, everybody thought that Kyle Fletcher was going to win. I think, and to have Dustin win it in Texas Stadium unexpectedly was just and Dave, thanks for that. That's a wonderful. There was legitimate tears. Dustin was just broke down and
By the way,
cried.
we should explain. I don't know that everybody who's seeing the picture knows exactly what's happening, but the kids on the outside of the four that are there with Dustin
Yeah,
are actually Dustin's nephews,
right,
his sister Kristen's sons, and they
right,
are coming through Dustin's school. They're
right.
known as the Rhodes brothers.
Mm-hmm.
We had them at Starrcade, and the inner set, the guys who Dustin are actually resting on their shoulders, those are the Von Erichs. Those are Kevin Von Erich's sons.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got just a ton of Texas wrestling history, and you see in the background there, Dustin's tag team partner as the Sons of Texas, Sammy Guevara. I mean, what a feel-good moment right here in the stadium. I mean, just the idea that it's happening in Texas. It was
Right,
a special moment, and what a tall order it was. And man, Dustin answered the call. He wrestled twice that night and once the night before. Three
right.
matches inside of 24 hours.
Same thing for Sammy too. Yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah.
respectfully, Sammy has youth on his side.
Right,
He's got
right,
all the wars and all the battles, and respectfully the age. I'm not calling him old. I'm just saying, man, there's not a lot of guys performing at his age, and if they are, they're not at that level. And to be
right.
at that level, not once, not twice, but 3 times. He joked on social media that he had to jump in an ice bath. Yeah, no shit. Thank
Yeah,
you, Dustin. I mean,
yeah,
what a fucking warrior he was that weekend.
yeah. He was. Even before he found out he was wrestling twice, I saw him backstage and he was kind of moving slowly. I said, "Are you doing all right?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm sore." I said, "Yeah." I mean, even young men are sore after wrestling, right? Uh,
Yes.
and so I really get it. And but we didn't know that Adam Cole could not perform until the night before, probably the morning of. Okay, so for Tony to come up with that idea, I think was one of the best things he's ever done. And I told him that it was brilliant. It was the right move to make for the right moment. And and I know Dustin was very emotional about it. It was kind of an emotional night. Of course,
In a lot of ways, for a
yeah,
lot of people, a lot of
right,
matches. I mean,
yeah,
it really was a happening. I mean, clearly I mean, don't get me wrong, the high watermark in your time in AEW, I mean, you could say it was the first TV show, or
hmm,
you could say it was Arthur Ashe, and what a big opportunity that was.
Wembley,
Certainly the
right,
record-breaking crowd at Wembley.
right,
To come back to America in Dallas,
hmm,
we're not too far from where, Von Erich and Flair set that record back in
right,
'84.
right. Texas
And just
Stadium,
to know that here we are, I don't know. It was a special night, man.
Yeah, it really was. And so kudos to our boss and the staff for putting that together. It was emotional, but it was emotional for Adam Cole because he was legitimately crying. Roddy and Kyle O'Reilly were crying with him, and the tears you saw from Hangman were legit.
Yeah.
Uh, so it was emotion, man. Emotion just I'll say it again, emotion sells tickets, man.
There ain't no doubt about it.
Yeah. So it was really great. Hey, we are talking over Larry Zbyszko and Ronnie Garvin.
A really fun match.
Yeah.
Highly recommend that you watch it if you haven't. This is only the first 10 minutes are for the TV title. This is the national TV title, and I love that belt that Ronnie Garvin is sporting here. It's got all the colorful paint that we would see as a backdrop for a lot of those early television shows. And
Yeah.
I don't know, I just thought it was one of the cooler belts. I think this is in the private collection of our buddy down in Florida. Hey, I also want to mention too, we're getting some live questions we should probably hit.
Okay.
But before we do that, I want to remind everybody that today's show and all of our shows are brought to you by BlueChew. Guys, we want you to enter the room dick first. BlueChew isn't just a tablet, it's a cheat code for your crotch. Stronger, harder, longer lasting. Like somebody gave your gimmick a pep talk at a gym membership. BlueChew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. And sometimes I take a BlueChew to just make standing in line easier. You know, that way you got something to lean on. Guys, this isn't just about performance. This is about legacy or third legacy. Give her group chat something to talk about. Nothing makes you more of a legend than a little BlueChew. Discover your options at BlueChew.com, and we've got a special deal for our listeners. As always, get your first month of BlueChew free. Just use the promo code WHW at checkout and pay $5 for shipping. That's it. Join BlueChew's mission to upgrade humanity one thrust at a time, Tony.
Wow.
Head right now to BlueChew.com for details and important safety information. And a big thanks to BlueChew for sponsoring today's podcast and Tony's Wiener.
Thanks for sponsoring my wiener.
Yeah.
Garvin is got longer hair than normal here, and that we're used to, that we remember, and he's pumped up a little bit more than we remember as well. He always was in good shape, but man, see the traps on him, and man.
He's almost unrecognizable without the flat top.
Right.
We got some live questions coming in, and I do want to ask Jason Taylor, who got to meet good old JR over the weekend, says, what was your favorite match for All In, and why was it Ospreay, Swerve versus Young Bucks? I know you said it was the Dustin moment, but when it comes to actual bell-to-bell matches, that's probably everybody's favorite of the weekend. Or maybe, was it the main event for you? What was it, Tony?
No, the main event was my favorite by far.
The emotions involved?
The emotions involved, and I guess because, and I told him afterwards, I told John Moxley, I said, man, I thanked John Moxley. I thanked Hangman. I went to see him separately and thanked them both for putting their body on the line to give us a great main event, because they did. And I told Mox, I said, damn, you're out of your mind, brother. And he was in a great mood after the match. He was, even though he thought they had a great match, even though he was hurting, as you can imagine. But that was my favorite match. I think the fact that Danielson got involved, the fact that Darby got involved, and it looked like that they made it look like, which I think was great, that they hadn't, Hangman had no help, and the Death Riders are just surrounding him, and then everybody came into play. Prince Nana, of course, at the end, and then of course Swerve, which I think is great for that Swerve Nana storyline. So I just thought that was my favorite match. The tag team match for the Bucks. Bucks never disappoint. Ospreay never disappoints. Swerve is one of the great wrestlers in the world, and that one spot where they all did those moves, was really well done, and that was a great match. But I just that final match was my favorite.
A lot of emotion in that one for sure. I mean, at this point, is it even debatable that Hangman Adam Page is sort of the central figure for All Elite Wrestling?
I think he's got to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think he is. And it'll be interesting to see exactly where we go from here as far as the world title is concerned. I mean, you've got a lot of guys who certainly deserve that shot. I think obviously that Will Ospreay would deserve one. I think that I don't know who the program is going to be with. I think Kyle Fletcher deserves one. I think you may see a Swerve get a rematch. So that's just me again. I know I'm part of the office, but that's me just on in my mind, kind of thinking about who the next storyline is going to be with. I thought the storyline with Cope and Christian was pretty cool. Didn't see that one coming because I didn't even know Cope was there. So again, I like. You may not believe me, and I don't give a shit if you do or not out there, but I like to be surprised. I do. I think if I'm surprised as an announcer, a lot of times I react as a fan would. And there are some things they want me to know to make sure I get over this or get over that. But overall, there's a lot of things I don't know, and that's fine with me.
Can I tell you something I shouldn't talk about on the show, but I'm going to do it anyway?
Oh boy. All right, Dave, here, this time code is at 4440. Go ahead.
So, listen, this is just a real problem that you don't think about.
Okay.
As you know, behind the scenes at Starcast, we were facilitating thousands of private autographs for Upper Deck, the AEW trading card opportunity. There was a whole Upper Deck room.
Right.
And so one after another, they've got talent rolling through there, signing hundreds and in some cases, maybe even thousands of autographs. And we had a meet and greet that was supposed to start, and we couldn't find the talent. Like, we don't know where they are.
Okay.
And so we're all sort of chattering, and we're like, I don't know. He's supposed to be. Somebody said he was here. Somebody. And so now I call my buddy Ryan, and he answers the phone and steps out of the Upper Deck room. I bump into him, and I'm like, hey, man, need your help. We got a line of folks ready to meet Hologram. We can't find that motherfucker. Where's Hologram? Literally over his shoulder, signing in the Upper Deck room, sans mask. There he is. But how would I know that's Hologram without the mask?
Oh, did someone say go behind a curtain and put the mask on?
Well, no, I mean, no fans were in there.
Okay.
So he
okay. All right. Oh, I got you.
Meet and greet, but I'm just saying, you don't
Yeah,
know that that's him
Yeah.
without the gimmick. I've never met the guy in real life. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you can't find him. And they're like, he's literally 6 feet from me. I did not know. So I'm saying all that to say later, when Blue Panther comes in, he's old school. He's wearing his mask.
Right.
So he's got street clothes on, but the Blue Panther mask, and I'm excited to meet him. This is a real wrestling legend I've never met.
Right.
I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Later, I poke my head in the green room now that catering's there, and the mask is up, and he's eating. And someone comes in, and they look, and they do a double take, and I say, hey, no pictures. Just as a reminder, this is not somebody who's familiar with wrestling. And I'm like, hey, no pictures. And they're like, yeah, of course. So fast forward, I go make my appearance at the building before the show starts, during the pre-show. And then I get back to the hotel. We got some things we got to get ready for the after party and wrap up Starcast and that sort of thing. But as I'm waiting in the lobby, I look over, and there's the Blue Panther without the mask, just chilling now, waiting on his Uber because there's no fans around. And if he's not wearing the mask, nobody knows. And that's when it really clicked for me that this is amazing, that you can really survive relatively anonymous and then put ta-da, there he is. Now I'm saying all that to say, because I got a note from Scott Hyatt that says, hey man, are you back at the hotel? And I'm like, yeah. Is Blue Panther still there? And I go, well, he was just in the lobby. I guess Brian needed a Blue Panther mask for later that day. So someone came back, Scott came back to the hotel, found Blue Panther and got the mask. And all I could think was, did he know that? And that's the reason he was watching the door. Like someone's going to come in needing that whole exchange of We can't find him anywhere. He is within striking distance of you right now, but you just don't know it because he doesn't have it on. It just blew my mind because it's not something I've ever experienced before. Like, oh yeah, well that makes sense. I'm an
asshole. The kid that's hologram is a great kid. I mean, just a great. These luchadors, they're. I mean, hologram, Hechicero, Atlanta Dude,
Bandito, Commander.
Command. They're all great kids. They're all hardworking, great kids. I have a lot of respect for them, and I'm glad we use them. I'm glad we utilize them. And again, I go back to the Arena Mexico show, which is one of the great events that I've ever been a part of. Hey, we are watching, by the way, the Road Warriors against Mr. Wrestling 1 and 2. And I know this without even Tim Woods here is Mr. Wrestling 1. And Tim by 1983 is probably a little bit past his prime.
This is his next to last match of his career.
Yeah. And the other one is Mr. Wrestling 2, which was a Georgia Championship Wrestling legend, as we know. And he's getting the tag in right now. And that's Johnny Walker, who, by the way, when Johnny Walker would take speaking of taking the mask off, right?
Yep.
It's, oddly enough, when Johnny would take that mask off and would be in the backstage area, you would go, who's this old fucker here? Oh, that's Mr. Wrestling 2. There's no way that's Mr. Wrestling 2. That's an 80-year-old man.
I'll be honest with you. I couldn't believe Ray Phoenix was Ray Phoenix.
Really?
I saw him walking around respectfully.
Mm-hmm.
He's follically challenged.
Yes, of course.
And I just assumed the way he bounces around the ring that Ray Phoenix is, I don't know, 21 years old. Now, I know he's not really, but I'm just saying I have in my mind's eye what he might look like without the mask. And the first time I saw him without the mask, and I realized that he was follically challenged.
Sure.
I thought, I don't know who that guy is at all. And then a few minutes later, he puts the mask on, and it's like, okay, turns out he's one of my favorite wrestlers. Had no fucking idea.
Yeah, it's
it blew my mind this weekend. I don't know why it did, but it did.
Right. Yeah, that's some great stories.
Dave Silva's telling us the same thing happened with Excalibur, which is kind of fun because when you meet the real life Excalibur, I mean, I don't want to spill the beans, but the real life Excalibur was amongst all the fans this weekend, and nobody fucking knew.
Yeah, it's because he looks like somebody that worked in Jason Taylor's office, an accountant.
And then he throws the mask on, and you're like, "Holy shit!" There he is. It was amazing. So when I introduced Excalibur to my daughter, I said, "Hey, don't tell anybody, but this is Excalibur." And immediately, the real life Excalibur goes, "You weren't supposed to say that." It was so fun.
I know
the silliness of the mask.
I know he likes to keep his anonymity. He does, and I don't know if you remember this or not, but the birthday party we had for me at you guys had for me at Johnny's Famous Seafood, we were eating down the bottom. I say down the bottom because we had the birthday celebration up top in the second floor. We're down at the bottom and eating, and he came over and talked to us. And that's Lois had a little flask of whiskey, and she was drinking away. And so he went and talked to us. Hello, and I said, I used his real name. And she walked away, and I said, that's really Excalibur. She went, oh, he's cute. Why does he wear that mask? He's so cute. He shouldn't wear that mask. So I remind him how cute my wife thinks he is in real life.
Well, he is a handsome fellow.
He's a handsome fella. And not only that, he's just a phenomenal play-by-play guy. God,
I agree totally. Yeah. Rajiv is with us here live and says, how fitting we're talking about Georgia Championship Wrestling on the same night the Home Run Derby is in Atlanta. Yeah. Is that something you watch, Tony? Do you watch the Home Run Derby?
I wouldn't watch it at gunpoint.
Okay. Now we know how you feel about that.
Yeah. So, and my son Chris loves it. So yesterday, I fly in the morning, and I told Chris and his son Jackson, who's 15, I said, let's go to the Capital One All-Star Village, because I remember when the All-Star game was here in 1999, it was pretty freaking cool. This one sucked. We stood in line at the Topps baseball card display, and it was the drizzling shits, and we didn't stay there long at all, and we were vastly disappointed in it. And it was basically it cost you $30 to park, $35 to get in the door, and once you got in the door, guess what? They wanted you to spend more money. That's what it was all about. But I guess you gotta pay all these millionaires to play baseball. You got to make your money back some way. But it was not good at all. So no, I've never had use for the home run derby. It's kind of like the slam dunk contest. Yeah, I don't like that at all either. So I
Yeah,
like
listen, I enjoyed them as a kid. I don't think I enjoy them as much as an adult,
right,
but I do think the slam dunk contest could be a lot more interesting, if we had fucking stars in it. But that's a story for another day.
right.
Antonio Santos really enjoyed this weekend. He says, Tony, All In was the first pay per view I've enjoyed in a long time with every match. I will say that there was some criticism about the start time, which tickled me because it's like, hey, if you've watched the last two All Ins, the
Mhm.
show started at the exact same time as
Yep.
always. So there was no difference if you were watching on pay per view from what you've done for the last 2 years. So to me, that's not a real complaint. But then, secondly, people were complaining, oh, the show was too long. Well, aren't you glad it was during the day?
Yeah.
Because if this would have been a nighttime show, I mean, I could see how people would be upset with that. But I, for one, I like this afternoon opportunity. I,
I
I
do
hope
too.
wrestling pay per views sign me up for that to be an afternoon thing. I get my Saturday night back. I can still go to dinner at a restaurant and take my wife out or go to a movie or like I can do more than one thing. I don't have to dedicate the whole day to you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It worked. And the people that complained about it just need something to complain about because if they complained about the show itself, then they expose themselves as being fucking idiots. Which most of we have figured out anyway that trolls are. Hey, there's Greg the Hammer Valentine and Pistol Pez. Am I right? I'm just looking at it from a distance.
Yeah, I think you nailed it, bud.
Yeah. It looks like
This is for the
Valentine.
US title too.
Yeah, Valentine's got the belt. Absolutely.
US title here on the line.
Mhm.
By the way, we've got some more questions we should hit up. Darren Staley says, how much bleed over was happening in 1983 between GCW, the NWA, and Mid Atlantic? Do you want to sort of lay down what the NWA was here for everybody who's not
Yeah,
familiar with the way the territories worked?
yeah, the NWA was just a conglomerate. I guess I can use that, or was an organization that had a world champion, and that world champion traveled, and everybody that he would travel to, every regional promotion was part of the National Wrestling Alliance. It was an alliance of regional promoters, and that's why. Did I explain that right? Or where are we here?
Yeah, I mean,
I've
I
lost my
think at
train of
this point
thought.
the NWA is sort of the governing body for all the different
Governing body,
territories.
right?
So
Right.
Mid Atlantic Championship Wrestling is their own territory. GCW is their own territory, and they've all got their own regional titles,
Hmm.
which is why there's so many, like the national title and the
Right.
US title and the
Right.
TV title and blah
Right.
blah blah. But there's only one quote unquote world champion when it comes
Right.
to all these territories who subscribe to the NWA. So at this point, the AWA has a world champion, the WWF has a world champion, the NWA has a world champion. Those are pretty much the big three
Yeah.
here in the United States. Would
Right.
you agree with that?
Yeah, and that's why Greensboro Coliseum was pretty big because Greensboro at one time, I think they had it more than once, had an NWA World Title match, a WWF World Title match, and an AWA World Title match all on the same night. So they were able to kind of work in the promotions. But now, Greg Valentine, U.S. champion here, the U.S. title was the top title for the Crockett's regional promotion. So he had come down here to defend the U.S. title, and the equivalent of the U.S. title in Georgia Championship Wrestling was the national title. And then there was the Florida Heavyweight Championship. The NWA World Tag Team Champions were normally in the Carolinas, but sometimes they came down to Georgia. Give you a perfect example. This is back to my fandom. We were we were let's see. I'm trying to get this right. Went to a show and they announced that in 3 weeks, Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling returns to the Greensboro Coliseum. And Ric Flair and Greg Valentine will go up against the new World Tag Team Champions, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes and Dick Slater, who had won the titles in Florida. Okay. NWA World Tag Team Championship. When the show came about, they had dropped the titles in Georgia to Gene and Ole Anderson, who in turn dropped the titles, the NWA World Tag Team Championship, to Ric Flair and Greg Valentine in the Greensboro Coliseum in Mid-Atlantic. So the NWA World Tag Team Championship went from Florida to Georgia to back to the Carolinas in a matter of months or so. So that's how they kind of work things. They had national tag team champions in Georgia. I think everybody had their own television champion. But you're seeing Greg Valentine defend the U.S. title here, which is basically a Crockett belt.
By the way, absolutely love watching Pistol Pez Watley do his thing. If this is your first time seeing him, Tony and I highly recommend you go enjoy what we did for 1986, where we got to see so much of Pez. He became one of my absolute favorites. I wish he was still doing his thing today, man. We'd have a lot of fun with him.
He was great, man. The Shaska Watley thing was tremendous. And he was a great talker. He was a hell of a worker. He really, if anybody tells you about weightlifters, one of the great weightlifters of all time. They say Pistol Pez could just put anybody down in the gym.
You know what we need to do? We need to contact his family and see if we can't get them set up if they're not already with pro wrestling tees. Like Pistol Pez Watley should be celebrated more than he is, I think.
Yeah, you're right on with that, Conrad. I agree.
Absolutely. I mean, what a fucking phenomenal character. I mean, you can't help but watch him and be in a good mood.
Right. Exactly.
Like why would you not want to? I guess what I'm saying is, if I was, if he was available and in his prime today, and I was starting a wrestling promotion, I'd find a spot for Pistol Pez Watley.
Great babyface promotions and a great heel as well.
Hey, I want to throw a little love on the Players Tribune piece. I think it's called 2 into 1.
Right.
The Briscoe story. It's a 30-something minute documentary that came out. I was fortunate enough to see a rough cut of it. I don't know, a month or two back, and it was phenomenal. But I saw the final product. We did a screening at Starrcade. Man, what an emotional thing. When I came home, I had a chance to visit with my parents on my ride home because they're still in Huntsville, and I landed in Huntsville. And Mom asked how Starrcade was. And I said, hey, there's a documentary that you should watch. It's only 30 minutes or so. And I know you're not usually a big wrestling fan, but this is just a good human story. Mm-hmm. Mom said, oh, well, let's watch it. She had dinner ready for me, which was nice. And so we watched it. And man, there wasn't a dry eye in the Thompson household. Really, they did a fantastic job. And what a testament to Mr. Briscoe's family that he left behind, from his lovely family, his wife and children, but also his brother Mark. Like, man, how can you not pull for Mark on the heels of that, right?
Mark Briscoe is one of the great, not only characters in wrestling, but one of the greatest people that you will find behind the scenes. And I guess, have they had their 9th child yet? He and his wife, or
yes.
Okay. And who knows? She may go for 10. I don't know, but I just enjoy it so much being able to talk to him. And I only knew Jay just briefly, but they were really cool. And I'm so glad to see Tony use Mark on a regular basis, because Mark always gives you some great matches.
I mean, let's just say this too. Mark is one of those really unique performers who can do anything.
Right.
If you need a serious promo, he's got it. If you need a funny promo, he's got it.
Right.
If you need him to work a high flying style, a hardcore style, I mean, a tag match, a singles match, no matter where you put him, if there is such a thing as a utility player, I would argue that Mark Briscoe is the utility player for AEW.
Yeah, that's well said. I agree with that too. It popped me pretty hard that I think it was our last taped collision, because I look at the show, our taped collision, when he was in the ring with Mystico and they played a MJF promo on the big screen. They come back to after the promo ends. They come back to Mark Briscoe standing over the Mitsuko. Mark goes, "Kiss my ass." That's just Mark Briscoe. He's just a good man.
I think we may need to, if he really does get his wife pregnant for the 10th time.
Yeah,
we may need to have a little talk with him about letting it soak a little too much.
Yeah, I don't know if that would work for the wife.
Oh, you think that's the deal?
I think she loves babies.
I got you.
Yeah.
Well, I know he likes making them. Without even asking him, I can just go ahead and confirm on his behalf. He's a fan of how they got here.
Well, yeah. I'll give you a perfect example. This is, you cannot equate this at all. You cannot equate. You can't. But we've got 5 dogs. All right. I would have 10 dogs if I could. If we lived in an area that we wouldn't get run out of, the homeowners association wouldn't run us out of town, and somebody probably our next door neighbors want to run us out of town anyway. We've got 5. I'd have 10, 12, 15 dogs. Some people are like that with children, and God bless them, right? If they want more children, let them have more children. That's what I say.
Hey, roll tide on that.
Yeah.
I'm for it.
Yeah, I am too.
Hey, I wanted to ask you, have you seen what happened with Conor McGregor today?
Of course, I have. I have not, because I have. Here's what I've been doing today. We had a couple of AEW meetings, as we do on Monday, and I've been sorting out baseball cards all day. So I have not looked at the TV, nor I've even surfed the internet. So what's going on with Conor McGregor?
Well, he sent an unsolicited picture of his dick to a relatively famous influencer, I guess. I don't know that person's name, but she went public with him. But what's interesting about Conor sending them dick pictures isn't that he was ass naked in his closet, and we now know what religion he is or isn't. Mm-hmm. But Tony, and I'm not making this up, one of the photos, his gimmick had a weight set. His gimmick was lifting weights. He put a little tiny barbell on his meat. And I just wanted him to know, hey man, you can just use BlueChew. You don't have to.
Yeah.
And I know you're lifting weights. And I know Nigel has convinced you that, as you get older, your body breaks down and you gotta
lift weights
and start lifting weights. I guess the question is, do you think when you get to the final level of fitness with Nigel, is he going to break out the world's tiniest barbell for your button on a fur coat? Are you going to start lifting dick weights, Tony?
I don't think I will, but I think if you take BlueChew, you could probably lift a lot more than normal.
Do you think that Mark Briscoe, hypothetically, already knows about Conor McGregor's training techniques because he's got 9 kids? It feels like if anyone has been using dick weights, might actually be Mark Briscoe.
I don't know if dick weights would come into play in something like that.
I don't know if you got to pump out 9 children.
Well, it would be more about endurance than, isn't it more about cardiovascular training than weight training?
I don't know, man. I've never tried to put on mass on my hog meat.
Yeah. Okay. Well, as always, this kind of turns to this conversation turns to bullshit. Okay.
Well, real talk. If you were to do that,
real talk,
do you think you would give it a name? Like some people,
no,
name their game. Would you call it like Dick Schwarzenegger?
No, I would not. Okay.
Antonio Santos is with us here live, and he says if you have a curved wiener, you can lift weights. Antonio, how do you know that? What are you doing in your free time?
I can tell you what he's doing in his free time.
Dick weights?
Well, he's hanging on to his wiener a lot.
Is somebody trying to take it from him? Is it like a...
No, it's always in use.
Okay. Yeah. Well, don't get hot about it.
Antonio
Santos is with us. He says, Tony, would you fight Galacticus? I don't know what that is. Lex Luthor or Thanos? If you have power as Ant-Man, Batman, or Captain Chaos. I don't know what this is. I've heard of Batman. I know Lex Luthor. He was in the 4 Horsemen for a little while, then they kicked him out. I'm glad he's finally in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Can you give us an answer to this Mad Lib that Antonio Santos has written?
Okay, Galacticus and eats planets, and that's one of the Fantastic Four bad guys. Thanos, of course, very famous in the Avengers, and but I think Lex Luthor. If I was, I would want to be Batman and fight Lex Luthor because he's just a regular guy with a lot of money and a lot of evil. He's not aliens, if you will, from another world or another universe, another planet. So Lex Luthor would be more than Galactus or Thanos. Right, Dave? Dave Silva would probably agree with me on that. And it remains to be seen. Does anybody know who the in the new Fantastic Four movie who are they going to they're going to fight Doctor Doom, of course.
Hey, I wanted to ask you, Superman's out and came out while you were in Texas.
Yep.
Have you seen it yet?
I have not seen it. As a matter of fact, Lois and I talked about going to see it tomorrow. I haven't been to the movie theater in forever.
I'm going this week. I don't know when, but I'm going this week. I'm going to make it happen.
Dave Silva's going twice. He's going tomorrow again. Yeah. Matt Schiavone sent me a text today. He said, you need to see it. And then I read some reviews. And of course, again, most people love it. Some idiots don't.
Well, some people, I couldn't believe that anybody didn't love. Hey, let me get you half hot here for a minute.
Okay.
What do you make of the people who are pissed off that Big Boom AJ and Big Justice and the Rizzler were on the pre-show? I thought it was amazing.
It was fine. They're bigger stars than most of the people we have.
I thought it was tremendous. And I know there's a lot of people who are like, well, I don't know them. Okay, we get it. It's not for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what does that matter, bud?
Yeah. Well, guess what?
You didn't know anybody till you saw them on TV, you fuck.
Yeah. And guess what? They don't know you either. You worthless bunch of fucks. So they did get some boos, but when the Rizzler did something, they all popped.
Oh, yeah. They were ready for it.
Yeah, they love the Rizzler.
How about the heat on pushing Big Justice down?
I know.
I know that nothing happening, son of a plumber.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely.
And Andrew's with us here, and he wants to know, what's your best/worst experience you had meeting someone you were a fan of? So this is sort of interesting. One of those almost, don't meet your heroes type deal. Tell us about your worst experience first, and then tell us about your most interesting, your weirdest.
Well,
you wanted to meet, Tony.
My worst experience was also my weirdest. In 1969, my dad took me to see the Washington Senators play the Oakland A's. I had become a big Oakland A's fan for a very, very odd reason. The first baseball card when I opened up a pack in 1969 was a Oakland A's card of Rick Monday. And I became an Oakland A's fan. Virginia boy, Oakland on the other side of the country. And by becoming an Oakland A's fan, I became a Reggie Jackson fan. And so we went to see the Oakland A's play the Washington Senators at old DC Stadium. And Dad had connections and got his tickets right down front. And me, Mom, and Dad went to see it. And we walked over after the show was over, and there was Reggie talking to some fans. And Dad said, Reggie, would you give my son his autograph? And he said, no, I got to go inside. And he picked up this kid and walked inside. That was probably my worst experience because I was really upset that I didn't get Reggie's autograph. Because Reggie's always been my hero. And the weirdest experience was with Reggie as well. I've told this story before. When I was working for the Braves radio network in the 18 years I was away from wrestling, I was down to spring training, and the Braves played the Yankees in Tampa, George Steinbrenner Stadium. And the place that they always feed the press, the place was down under the stadium on the level of the field. I went out of the cafeteria there, and I walked towards the press box. You take an elevator up, and here came Reggie. And it was just me and Reggie, nobody else. He walks towards me, and I walk towards him, and I'm thinking, oh my God, here's my hero again. And I'm remembering what he did back in 1969, which was obviously 50 plus years ago or 40 some years ago. And I didn't say anything to him. I just walked right by him. And it was kind of weird that I wouldn't say anything to him uh, because I was concerned that he would be a prick and then I would not like him. So those are the weirdest. I can't think of anybody else. I know meeting Ric Flair was a big deal
Yeah.
because I was a Ric Flair fan, or I just watched it. And meeting Ricky Steamboat was a big deal. Meeting all those guys were a big deal. And for me to go from a fan, literally a fan, to being smartened up to the business all in a span of 30 seconds is something that not everybody experiences. All of a sudden, I'm outside this door. I go through these double doors. There everybody is. Now you're a part of it. You're holding the microphone, and now your life has changed forever. I didn't know how much at that time, but now your life has changed forever. That was a very weird experience as well. But the Reggie Jackson thing always kind of sticks with me. And a bunch of our low-key big hogs, I think, I don't know if Coach Rosie was a part of this. I know Mark Nelson was, had Reggie do a cameo for me, where he talked about the old Oakland days and everything. But so anyway,
We're getting ready to watch a pretty interesting concept here. It's
okay.
Wild Bill Irwin versus Tommy Rich, and this is a bull rope on a pole match. And coming up next, we've got a dog collar chain match. Buzz Sawyer and Roddy Piper. These are like our co-main events, I guess is what you call it.
Wow.
Tommy Rich in Georgia. Tell us just exactly how over he was.
Arn Anderson called him a matinee idol. He was
crazy to think about too, because he doesn't look like it.
No, but you know, he had the blonde hair back then, the long blonde hair. He had the Southern talk. So I guess Georgia fans identified with that. And you know, somebody say something about lasagna. God, was Tommy Rich great?
Title, April 27th, 1981, beating Harley Race in Augusta, Georgia. He lost the title 4 days later in Gainesville, Georgia. He was a Georgia NWA champion, so clearly he's a big fan favorite here.
Right.
1983. You know, we're just 2 years removed from that. And Wild Bill Irwin, man, what a great character he was. I know years later he would wrestle for the WWF as the Goon. But man, what a crazy cool look he had here in this era. I like this presentation for Wild Bill Irwin.
I do too. He looks in a way, if you glance at him, like Terry Gordy.
I thought the exact same when I first saw him. I thought, is that Terry Gordy?
Yeah. You know, we were talking about, we had a question earlier about the NWA and Mid Atlantic and Georgia Championship Wrestling and all that. The talk was back then, or I've heard since then, that they gave Tommy Rich the world title, and it didn't last long, only to help pop the territory in Georgia Championship Wrestling. It was a thing that the NWA did, and I think Jim Barnett obviously was a part of this to help the gate in Georgia Championship Wrestling, as you know, that Tommy Rich is now the world champion. I don't know. Was he able to go to a TV taping as the world champion? I don't even know.
No, I mean, it was only 4 days. Let me take a look and see.
There could have been a TV taping between then, you know, because Augusta, I don't know what Augusta had back then, but I'm sure Gainesville still had the Georgia Mountain Center, and that didn't hold many people. But having Tommy Rich win the world title was something that, you know, meant a lot to Georgia fans. So I don't know if Tommy showed up on TBS with the belt or not. I don't remember.
Well, let me get to the bottom of it here. By God.
All right.
He wins the world title on April 27th in Augusta, Georgia. It takes 27 minutes and 22 seconds.
Wow.
The very next night, it's a rematch. He beats Harley Race on a rematch in Macon, Georgia.
Okay.
He does make an event at the Township Auditorium in Columbia, South Carolina
Okay.
on April 28th. So I
Crock-
guess he was doing
It's Crockett
double
territory.
duty that day.
Yeah.
Was that what do you think that was a television? I mean, did they do TV at the Township Auditorium in Columbia?
Crockett's did, yeah. We did television there, but I don't know if they did it back then or not.
So maybe there's a chance he beat Mr. Fuji there.
Yeah, no, you know what? Back during that, what year was that again? That was early 80s, right?
81, yes, sir.
Yeah, the Crockett's were doing TV in the studios in
Okay.
in
So
Raleigh.
yeah, he never made TV because he works. You know what's interesting, and I know that Silva would get a kick out of this. The night before Tommy Rich beat Harley Race for the world title, he was wrestling here in the Omni, and he picked up a win over Bull Ramos. Do you remember Bull Ramos?
Yes, as a matter of fact, his twin brother is Dave Silva.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if we could go full screen on Dave Silva for a very rare cameo, this is what Bull Ramos looks like in 2025.
David, come on, give us a smile. Give us one of your smiles, Dave.
I'd love to, but my camera's not working.
Oh,
Jesus.
That means he's got his titties out.
Yeah, dock his pay. My camera's not working my ass.
Darren Staley is with us here, and he says, so I got to bounce soon. I love this podcast. I love Tony and Conrad. I'll turn 51 years old this Friday, July 18th.
Whoa.
Y'all have facilitated me meeting my heroes, Tony included. Thank you so much. Shout out to Darren. Roll title.
Yeah, there you go, Darren. 51 years old. I love it.
I got a fun JR story for you.
Oh, boy.
There's plenty of fun JR stories, by the way.
Okay, didn't he get just a wonderful ovation?
I loved his
Wasn't
reception.
it great? Yeah.
We knew it would happen, and it did.
Yeah.
So I was so excited to see Jim in real life that when he walked in the lobby of the hotel, I dropped everything and dedicated the next 4 hours to whatever Jim Ross wanted to do. And he told me eventually when he left that he was going to go take a nap, but he wanted to go to dinner. And I said, oh, I'll take you. And he says, have you been to lunch yet? And I said, I did. We just left Papacito's. And he goes, oh, that's where I wanted to go. He goes, they got a great seafood restaurant too. So I set it up. So we went to Papado that night, and he was excited.
Okay.
So I tell him what time I'm in. We're going to meet in the lobby, and I'll get us an Uber double XL, and we'll go and we'll have a fun time. And Swerve's agent, a friend of mine, Tony, joined us, and my little group that I brought in from Huntsville is there as well. And we get a big table and having a great time. But as soon as we sit down, I mean, we're just a couple of minutes in, and JR goes, lost my phone. And I said, did you leave it at the hotel? He goes, nope. And I go, so it's got to be in the Uber? He goes, got to be. Can you call that driver? And I go, yep, sure can. So I pick the phone up. Driver doesn't answer.
Mm-hmm.
So then I send a message through Uber.
Mm-hmm.
Try to contact the driver a few more times. No response.
Mm.
JR was pretty damn distraught over losing his phone.
Yeah, I'm sure he was, because he's lost it before and been distraught.
And at one point, we're in the middle of dinner. He's ordered some sort of trout dish. He seems pretty happy about it. But he just stands up and goes outside. And so I look at Cassio, and Cassio's like, I'll go check on him. We don't have a conversation. I just look at him, and he's like, oh, yeah, I'll go check on him. So Cassio goes out, and apparently he told Cassio, because he's just literally on the front balcony of the restaurant, just looking up at the sky, looking at the stars. And I'm thinking maybe he took a smoke break or something, he's on the patio and maybe he's just out there smoking. And so Cassio says when he comes back in, he goes, man, he's just looking up, and said, there's nothing to do without a phone, Cassio. What are you supposed to do without a phone? And I could tell it was a big deal. And I was like, hey, Jim, we're going to get your phone back. But when, Connie? And I go, I don't know when, but they'll bring it back. And if they don't, then at some point tomorrow, maybe before lunch, we will get somebody to give you a lift to the Verizon or the AT&T store. And there's nothing that $1,000 won't fix.
Sure.
In that store. So worst case scenario, we're gonna spend $1,000. They're gonna swipe that debit card, and they're gonna, in a few minutes, you'll have a new phone and all your shit will be downloading. Well, I stayed on it, and I got his fucking phone. Now, I didn't get the guy till the middle of the night. So it's now like 12:30 in the morning, but I got him. And so now I'm wondering, do I call JR's room? Because he had to tell me his room number. And I got to call his room number like it's 1985. And I'm like, do I call him and wake him up? But I know he's Eastern time. That's 1:30. Hopefully his ass is asleep. So I'm not going to bother him. So I'll wait until the next morning, and I'll wait until 8 a.m. because I know that's 9 a.m. his time. And I call him, no answer. And now I start to get a little panicked. So I call again, no answer. I call the third time, no answer. Now it rings the front desk, and I say, hey, I'm trying to get a hold. I tell him his room number. And I say, if he comes down, let him know that the phone will be at the front by 9 a.m. Don't hear from him. So now I'm starting to get real panicked. So I call him like the 15th time, and he answers. And he's irritated that I've called him because he's in a dead sleep, which I'm appreciative of. But it's the minute I tell him I got his phone, he goes, oh, Connie, you're the fucking best, which made me happy. So now the phone guy shows up, and I have bribed this guy $100 to bring the phone. So I send the kid down to give the guy the $100, and I say, hey, take this up to JR's room. Here's his room number. So she goes up and she texts me and she's like, Dad, I've been beating on this door for like 5 minutes. I don't know what to do. I look like a crazy person. And I'm like, I know this sounds crazy, but just keep beating the door. He will eventually answer. And avert your eyes if he's groggy. Just so I'm trying. I don't know what to plan for, but I know I'm just maybe waking him up out of a dead sleep. But he got that damn phone, and I was so happy, and he was back to normal. And every time I saw him for the rest of the weekend, what do I owe you? You don't owe me nothing, bud. I just wanted you to have your phone. Because it's the first time, JR to all of us wrestling fans, he's like a low-key hero to all of us. He's like our uncle. And so for him to be that out of sorts made me feel out of sorts. And I was like, I got to get this damn phone for him. So I was on a mission. But just the idea that we completed it, and it involved hotel desk clerks and an Uber driver who doesn't speak English, and $100 handshake and beating on a door. And by the way, this is my favorite part. I can't believe I buried the lead. When we get in the Uber to leave, so I call another Uber because we're going to leave the restaurant. We're going to go back to the hotel. Jim, we're letting ride up front, shotgun, get his seat. I always open the door for him, get his seat like he likes it. Because, sometimes they'll scoot those seats all the way forward. I need Jim to have some leg room and be ready.
Sure.
So I'm ready for him. And before he even sits down, he's got the door open. He's standing on the curb. He looks right at the driver and goes, left my phone in one of your cars. Need you to get it. And I go, hey, Jim, that's not the way that works, man. And he goes, sure it does. He works for Uber. And I go, no, they're not all going back to the same place. That's not the way it is. It's not like a taxi. And this guy, again, I don't think he spoke any English at all. And he's just grinning. And he's like, well, he's acting like he can get it. And I go, Jim, this is not the same guy. And he goes, Connie, we can find it. And he starts talking to the guy. He goes, it was a red van. And I'm like, Jim, I'm going to get the phone, promise. But just the idea that, because listen, once upon a time, if you had a car service, they did. I mean, I've seen the television show Taxi. They did all go back to the same place and park and get in their regular cars and go home or whatever.
Right.
But Uber, that's not the way it is. And I just know that. I mean, it's not like Jim's ever signed up for Uber. He didn't know how the shit that works.
Right.
Just tickled me that just for a minute, it was like, oh yeah, he doesn't know that this is different, but hey, it was a red van. And I don't know why, but it tickled me that Jim was like, I'm going to get this phone. So we got him this phone. He's good to go now.
That's a great story. You're a good friend. You really are. He had lost his phone before, backstage. And, I don't know if he has got an Apple phone, but you can track those things, as you know.
Well, see, that's what's funny is Swerve's agent, Lord bless him, nice guy. He immediately goes, Conrad, this is not something to stress out about. We can make the phone make noise. And I go, dude, he's got D&D on his phone.
Yeah.
Because he's like, just call him. I go, he's got D&D on because he was just taking a nap. There's no way that'll work. And he goes, well, that's easy. Just use Find My iPhone. And I just look at him and I'm like, respectfully, do you think JR knows his goddamn iTunes password? He doesn't.
Sure.
So we're not. I'm gonna get it. Just give me a little time. He's still driving, but he'll come. If he'll come pick us up and take our fat ass to a seafood restaurant for $20, he'll come drop that phone off for $100. I'll get it. I promise.
Do you use AirTags? You use those Apple AirTags? Do you use any
I
of that?
have before. I was thinking that maybe I should have put one up my dog's ass, keep a hold of where they are, but
Yeah.
I'm scared to go near it right now. As you know, she's coming in hot.
Yeah, you can put one on. They have things put on the collars now.
Oh,
yeah.
so you don't have to put it up their ass anymore.
No, you don't have to put up their ass. We came back from Seattle, and I'm thinking, let me find my devices, and I can't find my sunglasses. And okay, your AirPods they're with you. Your backpack is with you. Your suitcase is with you. And where are my sunglasses? Oh, they are in Seattle. Fuck. So I was able to get in touch with thanks to Kurt Reinhardt, who works for us, get in touch with the people, and they send me my sunglasses. So the Apple tag really does work. Okay,
Hey,
now we're going to
Kurt
see.
Reinhardt, by the way, one of the unsung heroes of AEW. I
Yeah,
mean, don't you think
good
like what a thankless job
Yep.
that guy has? He handles the ticketing for AEW, but over the weekend, think about what all he had to tackle.
Mm-hmm.
A TV show on Wednesday, a TV show on Thursday, Starrcast and Ring of Honor on Friday,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of the VIP stuff that's happening at the stadium on Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
plus the show. I mean, it's no easy task. And he answered the call. There's as you know, Tony, there's a lot of really, really great people behind the scenes working with AEW these days.
Is this a young Nick Patrick?
Yes, it is.
My God, it looks like he's a kid.
Paul Ellering on the outside, Buzz Sawyer, crazy person on the left, Roddy Piper in the bottom right-hand corner, Scrappy McGowan, and Nick Patrick are your referees in the stripes.
Wow. By the way, Kurt, and as you know, Ryan, Cochet, Jeremy, some great people that work for us. Really, really. Corey really worked for us. I did one of the VIP things, and the wireless microphone didn't work. It worked during rehearsal, but then when everybody else in AEW are firing up their wireless,
Yeah.
it didn't work. So I'm up there talking, and it goes out, and the talking goes out, and Kurt is just panicking. So I bring Kenny Omega in, and I say, and it started to work. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenny Omega. I handed the microphone. It stopped working completely. And Kurt was like, oh, God, he was so upset. I said, don't worry. I told Kenny, I said, just say hello and then leave. Don't stand here and look like a jackoff. And so he said hello to everybody. It was very nice. And then he left. And Kurt was very, very upset it didn't work. But that's the way it is when you work with wireless stuff, man. It happens. I've worked with wireless stuff most of my life. But yeah, you're right. Great staff. Got a great staff of people that work for us. And we have right now a phenomenal web and social media staff.
Shout out to Andrew Lynch and Jeff
Andrew Lynch.
Jones and the rest of the group over there.
And Brandon, just great people. And of course, Karen, who works behind the scenes as well. God bless her. She is an angel.
Hey, I want to give a little love to DJ Turnup too. He's with us here live. I don't know that you got a chance to check it out, but DJ Turnup was our DJ at the Starrcast after party where Efren did Family Feud, and 5 fans won ringside tickets to a future AEW event as a part of Family Feud.
Wow,
it was a fun time had by all. But DJ Turnup, man, they're making us look good and sound good. Appreciate his support.
I didn't know you had an after party. How did karaoke go?
Man, it was fantastic. You know, Bryan Danielson singing Christina Aguilera, Genie in a Bottle.
Yeah.
Takeshita, Osprey. I mean, it was a who's who singing up there. It was a really unique experience, all supporting heels, which is supporting the women of AEW, the female fan base of AEW. Antonio Santos is enjoying our watch along here for Georgia Championship Wrestling. He's with us here live and says, Tony, how come Jimmy Valiant was never the world champ in the NWA?
I think Jimmy overall was more of a gimmick than he was a wrestler. I think back then they wanted people who were more wrestlers back then than Jimmy was. I mean, Jimmy would come in and go, poker, Referee, look behind. He's got my trunks. Spoke him in the eye. Hit him off the ropes. Boom, down, elbow, 1, 2, 3. His matches would last about 3 or 4 minutes. When you were NWA champion back there, like you said, I mean, you'd put in 35, 40, 50 minutes. And I just don't think that Jimmy Valiant would have wanted to do that, to be honest with you. But he was a mega star. Here's okay. So we got Buzz Sawyer, who was well documented, was not a good person, was a horrible human being. And he's got a chain, and he's hitting Roddy Piper in the head with the chain. And I just wonder how much of those shots are live rounds from Buzz Sawyer.
There's no doubt, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, some of them have to be.
Yeah. He would come in the mornings and do interviews for the Crockett's, and would have cotton mouth and would spit all over the microphone, spit all over me, and he smelled bad. He was just a vile human being. Not friendly.
A vile human being is not
Vile
the way
human.
to
Yeah.
describe people very often, Tony.
No, he was just not one of my favorite people. Of course, I was, impressionable kid. What can I say?
Well, I want to be one of your favorite people, which is why I'm helping people save money at savewithconrad.com. Take a look at this chart right here, and you'll see how home prices are still increasing. It means that you're probably sitting on a bunch of equity in your house that could make your life a whole heck of a lot easier. I'm talking to you if things are tight, if you feel stuck making minimum payments on credit cards. Why don't we get rid of all that credit card debt once and for all and start getting some cheaper monthly payments going? That's exactly what we did for my man Andrew in Tennessee. He needed to do some upgrades around his house. He wanted to put on a new roof and some new floors, and he needed to pay off some debt. Well, SaveWithConrad.com hooked him up. We were able to do that cash out refinance he needed. He's going to get that new roof. He got the new floors. He paid off all his debt. He skipped 2 house payments, and he's saving more than $400 a month. And it's free to find out how much money you can save right now at SaveWithConrad.com, where we don't say no, we say not yet, but here's how. So don't feel ashamed if you've had a late payment here or there, or even if you filed bankruptcy in your past. That doesn't matter. You need a plan to accomplish those goals, and we want to help you. We want to be your mortgage advisor for life. And right now, you can still get a great deal and save a boatload of cash. But all the experts seem to agree that interest rates are going to improve in the next 3 years. So we're actually giving you in writing a year 3 guarantee. If interest rates improve, we'll refinance you without charging you a second set of lender fees. You're going to have the peace of mind of getting the best deal right now and not wasting money later. Find out how much money you can save today at savewithconrad.com. NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender, savewithconrad.com.
We got blood already.
Well, you say already, but I mean, in a chain match, I kind of expected it.
There's a lot of blood, as a matter of fact. There's some live rounds going on right there. Although, see, Roddy swinging and he ducks out of the way. You damn right. There's some live rounds going on. Now, once again, this is back in the day where they called the match in the ring, right?
Yep.
Back in the day, I love old school stuff, but I love the new stuff too. I was asked that.
Me too.
Yeah, I was asked that question the other day, and I just the thrill of the new stuff, I just do. Look at this. Paul Ellering, there he is. Paul, of course, known, I guess, more than anything else, as the manager of the Road Warriors, but also was a fine wrestler in his day at Georgia Championship Wrestling. Was in that last Battle of Atlanta cage match, and was a heel manager here. And of course, Paul's daughter, Rachel Ellering, and her fiance, Chris Hero, are 2 of my favorite people in the entire world.
What a classic match we're watching here with Piper, Buzz Sawyer. Hope you'll check it out. It looks like they've got the entire card here according to Cage Match, with the exception of Bruno Sammartino Jr. beating Paul Ellering by countout.
Wow. How about that? John Hamilton's wussing out. He said he was falling asleep on us, which means he's bored with us.
Well, we got to start talking about dicks again, Tony.
I guess we do. Okay. Have a good night, John. Don't let the door hit you in the ass, you South Carolina pussy.
Oh, wow. Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, I can tell you privately, I won't say the name on the air, but we have now added another name to the banned from Starcast list. I'm going to type it in the group chat.
Okay.
And I don't want you to say the name.
Okay.
Because I don't want to be disrespectful.
Okay.
But it ain't even close. Number one with a bullet.
Wow. Okay. That's a shocker.
Maybe this will add some context. Are you surprised now?
No, I'm not.
You had heard about this before?
I know the person you're talking about, probably one of the most universal hated people in wrestling that I've known.
I did not know that. I found out the hard way.
Yep.
This was their first and last time at a Starcast ever.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And when it was announced that they were coming,
mm-hmm.
someone reached out to a member, one of my right-hand people behind the scenes, and said, tell Conrad good luck with so-and-so. And I knew just based on that, like they saw a graphic on social and immediately texted, tell Conrad good luck with so-and-so. And I was like, that doesn't sound good. Nope. I know them, and they wouldn't normally say that. Yeah, they were right, buddy. Woo.
Yeah.
One and done.
There's crazy, and then there's batshit crazy.
And as you know,
well,
I deal with some of that on a fairly regular basis.
Yeah, you married into batshit crazy.
My wife is not batshit crazy.
No.
There may be other people associated with the family who are, maybe. Hypothetically. Hey, did you see Ric Flair planking in a bar? No. It was posted on social media yesterday. He planked in a bar for over 3 minutes. So he's, I don't know, a half dozen cocktails in and just does a plank in Ferragamo dress shoes for over 3 minutes.
I talked to him 4 times last week on the phone. I talked to him the same day I talked to Sting on the phone. And I told Sting, I said, you know how many people can say that they've talked to Ric Flair and Sting on the phone in the same day? I'm honored. And there's a part of me that was.
Yeah, of course you have to be. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at this heat afterwards with the.
Dude, I love it.
Yeah.
A bloody mess. Go out of your way to see it. This was a super fun show. I'm glad we got to watch some more Georgia Championship Wrestling. If I'm honest with you, and I'm kind of low-key embarrassed to admit it, this is only the second time I've watched a Georgia Championship Wrestling show start to finish. And I know it's not really start to finish because we don't have entrances and things like that for legal reasons, but still, I enjoyed it. But Tony, unfortunately, it looks like it's about that time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next chain match we are going to see.
Don't say a name. It's going to get me in trouble.
It's going to be the Nature Boy Ric Flair going up against Conrad Thompson. The winner has to pay the other for showing up at Starcast. And we're just about out of time. We'll see you next week on What Happened When. Mondays we come to you exclusively and ad-free only on
Patreon, patreon.com/WHW Monday, or of course, adfreeshows.com. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson here to tell you a little more about what adfreeshows.com is all about. Get early, ad-free access to more than a dozen of your favorite wrestling podcasts every single week, starting at just $9. That's less than 20 cents an episode each month. And yes, you can listen to them all directly through Apple Podcasts or your regular podcast apps. How easy is that? Ad-free shows also has thousands of hours worth of bonus content and docuseries like Title Chase, Eric Fires Back, Conversations with Conrad, and The Insiders. Plus new series like The Book with David Crockett, Monday Mailbags with Mike Chioda and Nick Patrick, and a whole lot more. And you want to talk about early? You can't get any earlier than listening to the shows live. You can be a part of the live studio audience as we record the podcast. Plus, ride shotgun alongside your favorite childhood heroes for live watch-alongs, Q&As, and other interactive experiences every single month. Come on now, see for yourself what thousands of other wrestling fans from around the world have discovered, that adfreeshows.com is the best value in wrestling. Check it out today, and hey, when you do, The first week is completely free at freeshows.com.